Congratulations on taking the first step in building the life of your dreams. Every amazing success begins with a decision. And you have made a decision to create a life you love living. I'm grateful to be supporting you on this wonderful journey that you are taking. Are you ready for a life of your dreams to start? Here is what you will discover in our 12-week coaching program. Each week, you will focus on one specific step in the dream building process. You will define what is it that you really want. You will learn that honoring your longing and discontent will bring you closer to your dreams. You will also determine whether your dream is worthy of you. I will share the secret for overcoming obstacles and transforming breakdowns into breakthroughs. Each week, you will be sent and have access to that week's lesson, which will include an audio recording, gold nugget summary, and of the biggest takeaways and weekly guidebook exercises. Now, before you get started, I would love it if you could take a few minutes and answer some questions that will help provide me some valuable information about your dreams so I can best support you and will help you to solidify your goals for yourself as you go through this program. So please click on the link below to access the survey. We all have dreams, but not everyone has the courage to take that step and step out of their comfort zone and commit to to make them their reality. You are one of these brave ones that actually did that. And you should be so proud of yourself. Please know that as you go through this program, that everything you need to create the life of your dream is right within you. All you need to do is become aware of it. I'm here with you every step of the way, and what you're about to learn are the principles that I personally use to build my dream life. These principles have helped thousands of others around the world to realize their vision and to create a life they truly love living. Are you ready to start building your dreams? Your life will never be the same. Enjoy listening to the audio of the first chapter from week 1 of the Dream Building program. At the end of it, if you want to know more, if you want to take the first step to get your dreams come true, make sure to take advantage of your free strategy session that you have as a gift. Enjoy. There was a man who walked into a bank. He walked up to the teller and he said, "Will you cash this check?" The teller looked at the check and he said, "Well, sure, I can cash this check. Just put your name on the back of it. Give it to me and I will give you the money." The man kind of backed up and he said, "Whoa, wait a minute. I don't want to put my name on the back of that check and hand it to you. You will be holding my check with my name on it and you might decide not to give me the money." The teller said, "Well, sir, no. How it works is you have to put your name on the back of the check before I can give you the money. It's a banking policy." And the other man said, "Well, I understand that, but I want you to understand how I feel. I feel very nervous about it. I don't want to put my name on the back of the check and hand it to you, and then you'll be holding it and you might decide not to give me the money." The teller said, "I'm sorry, sir. This won't work. I won't go with that. And I can't give you the money. You have to go along with banking policy." The other man argued with the teller. Back and forth they went. Finally, the teller had just had it and he said, "I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you. You need to leave. Go to another bank or try something else because I'm not going to be able to help you." So the man left. He went to another bank and he went through the same routine and again he was refused service. He went to a third bank He's going through the same routine with the teller, explaining how he doesn't want to put his name on the back of the check before he gets the money. Finally, the young teller is explaining the process and policy, and finally, this young teller had just had it with this guy. He reaches under the teller's cage. He pulls out a rubber baseball bat, reaches out across the teller's cage, and whacks the guy on the head and says, "Sign the damn check." So the guy looks at him, startled, and then he picks up the pen and he signs the back of the check and hands it over, and he gets the money. Money in hand, he goes back to the first bank and he walks up to that first teller and he says, "Look, down the street, I got my money." The teller says, "Yes, but I bet even down the street you had to put your name on the back of the check before you got the money." And the guy says, "Well, yeah, I did. You see, but no one ever quite explained it the way they did." Now, I laugh when I hear that story, but I also know that that story is not just that man's story. It's your story and it's my story. In essence, we go to the teller of life and we say, "Will you give me, please, my dream? Give me the life that I want to have." And life says, "Okay, put your name on the check. Put yourself, your whole self, into a vibrational match with what it is that you say that you want. Put your name to the dream, and then the doors of creation open." And we say, "Wow, wow, wow, wait a minute. I don't want to put my full self in. I want to know how it's all going to work out. I want to know where all the pieces are going to come from. I want to get pieces of the dream. I want to be informed. I want to have it, and then I'll put my full self in. Then I'll put my name to it." Every one of us has been given a sacred name. That name is I am. That name, what we lay on the altar of I am, whether I am limited or I am free, whether I can or whether I can't, it is shaped in the thinking chamber within us. Now, the check, of course, can't just be written that says, "Dear life, I want a good life. I want a happy life." Life doesn't know how to cash that check any more than if you went to a builder and you said to the builder, "I want a happy house. Build me a really nice house." The builder would look at you and say, "You've got to tell me what you mean by happy house, or what do you mean by a nice house? You've got to describe. You've got to decide. You've got to give me a picture called a blueprint that I can build to." Well, every one of us lives in this presence, power, thinking substance that shapes itself through our thinking. As you will hear, there are practices and principles that help us awaken to really who we are and what we are capable of. And it is far, far more than most of us have any idea. There was a study done not too long ago. It was about genius, and the exploration was into what happens in a person that is living what might be called a genius life. The research began with the premise that genius is the number of modalities in which one takes in information and is able to synthesize or make use of that information. What they discovered was the number of modalities. You could take it in with your five senses. You can take also information in intuitively, imaginatively, your ability to use your intellect to shape your information, your ability to make perception out of the information. all of those modalities that every one of us had anyway. When they are in concert or in harmony, there is what we call genius. So they were exploring what happens in people's lives that they live this way. And they discovered that pretty much 99% of all babies operate at a genius level for about the first 18 to 24 months of their lives. The learning curve that each one of us goes through to be able to discover that, oh, I can actually control this hand. And you will watch the little baby look at their hand, and it is, something that is part of themselves. They're figuring that out. And the incorporation of bringing the whole body into a system and beginning to shape ideas and learn words and crawl and then walk, all of the learning that occurs in that first phase of life is so accelerated. The learning curve is beyond anything most of us ever achieve the rest of our entire lives. So we come in as a genius. By the time we are 5, only 20% of us are operating at a genius level. And by the time we are 20, only 2% are operating at a genius level. So what happens to us? What mutes those capacities that are ours, that we begin to disconnect from? What the research said was that the disconnection occurs systematically and over time through this. The learned voice of internal judgment. We start to make ourselves wrong. We start to doubt. We start to look outside of ourselves for approval and opinion about what can be and what we can do and what's possible. So we learn to be conditioned based in our thinking because that's the major programming on planet Earth. That's how most people live. So we are giving our kids our very best version of how the world works, which is look to conditions to determine what you can be and what you can have. And there is another whole way to live. And that's what we are discovering. In the next chapter of week 1, we will discover river reed thinking and how it can help us increase our opportunities no matter what the current conditions are.